Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Writes Crypto. Welcome to Algorand Unfiltered. I could not be more excited to get into today's show. I mean, the past couple of interviews, we've had the pleasure of interviewing John Allen Woods, Stacey Warden, but today, this one is special. If you're already in the Algo fam, of course you're familiar with the big names, the founder, the CTO, the CEO, but trust me, they are not the only rock stars in the band. The insider scoop at Algorand is made up of an entire community of people all over the world, and there are more unsung heroes in the ecosystem than most people would think. And the best part is, today, we get to talk to not one, but two of them. Introducing to the stage, Min and Yeet. How are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. So my name is Min. I lead ecosystem here at the Algorand Foundation. What that means is getting builders to come and build on Algorand. It is making sure that we support the folks that are building on Algorand, is looking for gaps in our ecosystem that we need to fill, and it's looking for new opportunities to grow. So it's like a mix of a lot of things, and it's fun. It's fun.
Awesome. Love it. Yeet, what about you? What is your role? And quick intro.
Yeah, my name is Yeet, and I am the CTO of Pera Wallet. Before Pera, I worked on mobile applications and fintech projects for a long time. But since 5 years, I'm working on Pera, and it's a long time. I remember the day mainnet has been launched, and the day we added support for ASA prices, and the day when we passed the 1,000 ASA limit across the network. And it's been a long and fun journey, and I'm still working like it's the first day. I learn new things every day and work on exciting features.
I love it. So, of course, at some point in this conversation, we will talk about the Pera wallet and everything, specifically that you're working on. But before we do that, I do want to kind of zoom out and get a feel for where you stand, take the temperature of the room, if you will. Look at what's happening right now. The crypto market is putting up record numbers, especially, this is pre-halving price action. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin outflows are ridiculous. The ETF inflows also ridiculous. Retail is ravenous. It's no secret that the next life-changing bull run is certainly coming, and it's on its way. In your opinion, starting with Yeet first, what is different about crypto this time compared to last bull run?
Yeah, I think both the projects and users are more mature at this point. In the previous bull run, people invested in projects without knowing anything about them. A catchy name, a nice logo, and an advice from one of their friends were enough. This time I noticed a more extensive, knowledgeable user base. Of course, there will be users who act with very limited knowledge, but I think at this time, the real-world usage will impact the decisions of a significant portion of the users. And I think this is where modern layer ones like Algorand will have better visibility. We are seeing many projects like NFTicket or other projects who use Algorand's unique functionalities. And I think this is the advantage of Algorand. And in Algorand, the transactions are almost instantaneous. Like, we cannot revert them. And if you see a transaction on the Explorer, it's done. So I think that's the most important difference, and it will be very important for Algorand as well.
No, I completely agree, 100%. Min, what about you? What is different about crypto this time compared to the bull run last time?
Yeah, I totally agree with Yeet. I think, we are emerging as a more mature sort of industry as a whole, because we have one more bear, one more bull, under our belts. I think also, I just kind of look at a couple different factors too. Like, if you look at the amount of money that's been coming into sort of the overall, Web3 crypto ecosystem, unlike the last time where there was like tremendous hype and astronomical money coming in, it feels like there's a rebound, but there's more caution, right? So I think I was reading some numbers where like there was $650 million that came into, investment dollars that came in January. And that is a nice rebound, but it's only 3% higher than 2023, right? So I think that just kind of gives you a sense of the investors are still being pretty measured. And then the other thing I think that's really big different, and this is maybe a little bit calling out the obvious, but like the institutional money that's coming in is something that was not seen, right, in the last bull run. And, I think it gives a bunch of credibility, and it legitimizes us as an industry. And then the last piece, very similar to what Yeet was saying, is I think just like the innovations that we're seeing is a lot more across the board. Like last time it was NFTs, it was DeFi. Now we've got stuff around like, infrastructure, the restaking stuff, the social stuff, Faircaster, we got interoperability. We have like people working on the modular blockchain, like Celestial, there's just so much more, I think, range that's happening. So I think it's just all very healthy and super exciting to see.
Yeah, I mean, no secret about it. Crypto has matured. The entire industry has matured night and day. I would say, light year, like the rate of progression has sped up as well. If you look at how far technology has came, like video games from the early 90s to now. I mean, we've come a long way from Pac-Man. Yeah. And I feel that's a good analogy for crypto, no doubt, not to mention with the Bitcoin ETF getting approved, the institutional, they're really seeing the returns already with the ETF getting approved when it did, and Bitcoin's price, since the ETF got approved. And then we start seeing, rumors about, Jeff Bezos selling stock to buy Bitcoin. I mean, the entire narrative has completely changed. And I feel like this coming bull run's going to be much different story than the last one for sure. So I do want to follow up with a similar question about Algorand specifically. You are both on the inside, of course. So of course I have to ask for like the secret sauce. I know you guys are not allowed to talk price action, but here's the thing. I can. So let's paint a picture for the audience. Last bull run, beginning of 2023, Algorand's market cap was a bit north of $506 million. By April, it was $4 billion, and by September, it was $12 billion. So let's recap that. Algorand went from $506 million to $12 billion in 9 months back in 2021. I feel like people kind of might sleep on this fact a little bit. They forget, we have short-term memory problems in crypto. They forget how explosive Algorand was in the previous run. My question is this: what takes us from point A to point B this time around, starting with Min?
Yeah, well, so I'm going to interpret that question to mean, what's it going to take us to become one of the best blockchains and one of the best ecosystems? Yeah. And so I think last time around, I guess one of the things I feel like was happening was it was like the battle of the tech a little bit, right? Like all the layer ones and the roll-ups and the layer twos were kind of like trying to stake like how they're different and what makes their tech better. I think this time around, it's not about the tech. Like, no, we're not going to talk about the tech anymore, because that is like table stakes, right? You have to have good tech. And we all know that Algorand's got the best. So it's, we're solid in this round. But it's really, I think, all about finding meaningful real world use cases that can drive adoption. I think that's what this time around is all about. And what do I mean by adoption and these real world use cases? I mean, a good example, right, is TravelX. As you guys all know, TravelX is a platform that mints NFT tickets for airlines. What does it mean? So that's the real world component of it. What does the adoption component mean? When they launched with their first airline, it took them, I think, 4 to 6 months to get 1 million passengers, another 4 to 6 months to get 2 million passengers. They signed a second airline at the end of December. Now they're past 5 million. Like, to me, that's adoption, right? That is scale. And so I think we have, I think we get more projects like that launching on Algorand, and that is going to prove, it's going to demonstrate that, by the way, like, this technology is here to stay, and this is how it's going to be used. And it's going to prove that Algorand, of all the techs, of all the layer ones out there, can really scale to the millions, to the billions. I mean, there are many projects, of course, like this that on Algorand that I can give examples for. But to me, that's what it's going to take for us to kind of, get to the moon.
No, I feel like that's a solid answer. Yeet, you have a take on this question?
Yeah, I totally agree with Min. Like, from the technical standpoint, the apparent advantage of Algorand is time to finality. I think this is a big advantage. And blockchain entrepreneurs are fighting to solve real life challenges, just like NF ticket. And Algorand's short time to finality can be a great distinguisher among other chains, in my opinion. People familiar with other blockchains cannot believe how short the time to finality is. This even impacts the UI of the applications. On Algorand, we can easily make users wait to show the final message, like your transaction is completed. However, on Ethereum, applications are forced to display an asynchronous information message. They must do this because otherwise, users will need to wait minutes to make sure that the transaction is confirmed. So I think this is especially important for real-life usages. And AMM, if the transaction does not execute or it needs to be reverted, it is fine because users will receive their assets back. But if you are selling your car and you are not getting your money, and it's a big problem. Not knowing if you received your money for minutes is not a pleasant experience for sure. So I think Algorand has a great advantage in this journey.
No, I'm 100%. I completely agree with you on that. But this actually kind of perfectly sets up the next question, because some people, unfortunately, they don't agree with you. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure a lot of people here have heard the interview I did with Stacy about 2 weeks back, and that interview was pretty spicy. I'm not going to lie. So I have to ask some spicy questions in this interview. I'm going to keep it like probably not like Blazing Challenge, but maybe like a mango habanero around spice level. But a lot of people, some people disagree with you. I see this narrative on the internet all the time, and this narrative is that Algorand is dead. Yeet, is Algorand dead?
No, I think we are just starting. Like I see a great traction in the projects like NF Ticket, and from the technology side, we are also progressing a lot. We are doing a lot of improvements. We are discovering the new features of the blockchain. Algorand blockchain is a very versatile and technically solid blockchain. So we are discovering in the ARC sessions together with other projects new use cases from the existing features. It's like mathematics. You can imagine a lot of things. It's so complex and deep, and we can derive many features. And every day in those meetings, we discover new things that we can achieve just by using the existing functionality of the blockchain itself. So I think we are just starting.
I'm with you on that. Min, what do you think? Is Algorand dead? Is there a pulse? Is it breathing? What do you think?
If I could respond with an emoji, it'd be that smirky, the smirk emoji. And the reason why I say that is, people who say that, I think, have no clue what's coming at them this year. As Yeet was saying, like, there's so much amazing, and you did this interview with John earlier this year, just all this amazing stuff that's coming on the roadmap. So no, it's absolutely not. But, I will say, bootstrapping any ecosystem is hard. And then add to that, you're trying to bootstrap an ecosystem that's like doing cutting edge tech. That's like 10 times harder. So I think I'm not gonna, we shouldn't dismiss how this is a tough place for us right now. We're powering through and we're gonna crush it. But of course, there will be misses. There's going to be losses along the way. We've just this year, we've seen Algo Explorer and NFT Explorer and AlgoFi, all great, amazing products that serve this community incredibly well. And for various different reasons, they've had to shut down. And it's sad, but it doesn't mean that Algorand is dead. In fact, what we've seen is other projects step up and fill the void. Look at Allo. Look at how beautiful and how slick it is. Look at, folks just trying to push the boundaries, going into other ecosystems. I think the coming and going of projects in an ecosystem shows that we're not stagnant, and it shows that we're just constantly reinventing. So, it's again, not at all.
No, I'm with you from that, and certainly from fundamental analysis, certainly not dead. And from a technical analysis standpoint, I put a video out yesterday on my YouTube channel about in the top 100, there are 40 40 cup and handle chart patterns, where Algorand is one of them. And just for Algorand to get to the breakout point before the measured move is like a 20-some% pump, and it's like 100% pump if it played out to the measured move. That would put it back in like that 40-cent range that it spent a lot of time in 2022. So I think from a fundamental and technical analysis standpoint, Algorand is certainly alive and well. Min, I want to follow up with you on this question. You know, I always try to get, you know, my audience the most authentic perspective from those who are on the inside. So, you know, I must ask, like, you know, from being on the inside, what's like the real inside scoop with Algorand? Like, what's like the constant chatter between you and your coworkers? Like, what is the main objective you guys are and girls are trying to achieve?
Yeah. I can tell, trying to get a little spice thrown in here, but
I'm trying.
I love it. Well, look, the real scoop. Let's see. Well, this may not be as spicy as you like, but we're doing this thing internally at the foundation called the knowledge test, because, you know, Stacey and I totally 100% and behind this, and I think we all are, that like it is so important that every single person at the foundation has a really, really, really deep and solid knowledge of Algorand, the tech. And you know what I learned from this process is that like there are so many people who know this tech so well. The passion and just like how much they believe in the tech really came through in this process. Like something I wasn't expecting. Of course, we all like it, but I just didn't realize the amount of passion. And like, if you talk to somebody like Nikhil, who's our tech lead in India, he just like, when he talks about solutions he's building, it's just like the passion oozes out. And, you know, Fred, who the minute he talks about the consensus mechanism, just like the elegance, you know, he's like floating on air. I mean, I know this, you know, I don't mean for this to sound trite, but it's legitimate how much passion there is that people at the foundation feel for this tech. And I think the vibe is like bullish. Everyone is incredibly bullish. I mean, the chatter, I don't know, maybe you can kind of jump in. I think the chatter is kind of like 50% of it is sharing just the cool stuff that people in the community are working on and brainstorming on how do we get that out there? How do we support them? You know, 25% is the cool stuff that we want to be doing, that we want, you know, this ecosystem to be doing. And then the rest is like supporting each other, you know, when there's FUD and when there's like that stuff that's bringing us down, it's just like everybody is just so supportive. I think that's kind of how I think about it. The objective. I mean, I feel like everyone is all on the same page when we talk about what we want to do. We want this ecosystem to be successful. Like, we want to help entrepreneurs launch unicorns on Algorand. I think that is what we're all singly focused on.
I love that idea. And I would like to take this knowledge test. I feel like a lot of people in the Algo fam would like to take this knowledge test. I think it should be a public test that you get, like, you know, 20 minutes. It's timed, so you can't cheat. And I would be surprised what percentage of the Algo fam passes the test. I would think that the numbers would be surprisingly good. I'm not going to lie. So Yeet, what about you? Like, what's the main goal here? What's the chatter? What's the scoop?
So for Pera, it's a difficult question actually, because Pera is a group of products actually. Like, we have multiple products and multiple challenges. Like, we are working and thinking about different problems of different products. So we have two native applications, the Android application and the iOS application. These have their own challenges. We have a backend service that is being constantly updated. We need to follow the blogs, analyze, classify, and act on them. And the TPS count of Algorand is increasing, so we need to write good code, high quality code. And we also have the Explorer and the public API services that we are planning to improve. So, and also we have the asset verification system, of course, and all of them have different targets and different discussions. We are also active on ARC discussions. We are trying to discuss with other dApps and wallets about what we should do, how we should approach to the problems or to the opportunities. So yeah, it's quite busy actually, and we are working to position the Algorand closer to other networks. For example, we are working on the BIP39 support, HD wallet functionality. So we are working on public API endpoints on the backend side that will facilitate the lives of the developers on the Algorand ecosystem. And Explorer is also a hot topic among us. We are releasing a new feature every 2 weeks and gradually improving it. So we are working hard to make sure that we are the enabler, or we are one of the enablers in the ecosystem that will make other projects shine as well.
No, really good answer there. And it's if you really understand it, I feel like people that are like, oh, Algorand is dead. When people say that, I'm like, do you know what they're doing? Like, did you read the roadmap? Like, do you really understand? That's kind of, I think those people should be the ones taking the knowledge test. But Min, a couple weeks back, Min, we had a very interesting conversation about filling the gaps in the Algorand ecosystem. So to address that topic, I will ask you this question. If you could add one new thing to the new roadmap that just came out, what would it be?
Oh man. I mean, that we have a super jam-packed roadmap, right? John's not going to let us add anything else into this.
But if you could.
I'm kidding.
But if you could.
Yeah. I know. No, but look, the technical roadmap is so solid, like with consensus incentivization, with peer-to-peer, like we're working on all the big important stuff already. I guess I would sort of think about it from the ecosystem side of things. Like, what do we need to allow these developers, entrepreneurs to launch a unicorn on Algorand? I guess that's how I would think about it, right? And the one area that I'd love for us as an ecosystem to work on, and I think there's a gap, is just like tools and services for these developers to more easily build apps. So AlgoKit, of course, is the first step. It's super important. But we also need, but what's next, right? We also need, I think, really robust infrastructure, like indexers with public APIs, webhooks, libraries, tools, so that anybody can. So I will give you this example, and Yeet knows exactly what I'm talking about, because we're kind of trying to help projects and other potential builders do this. It's like, if you want to build an app, if you want to build something to show like a real-time dashboard of, your USDC or your Algo or your Orange's balance for a particular wallet, right now, you need an indexer, and then you need to build like a follower and a listener to be able to capture those events when it happens, and then you can build that dashboard. Like it's a very simple service, but we don't have it. There's a project called blockstalker.io that actually has a website that lists all these events, but they don't yet have an API. They're working on it. So of course, maybe we'll have something soon, but just like simple services like these, really make a difference. Like it just makes it super easier. It will make it much easier for developers to build. So I think those types of things, that I would love to put on the roadmap for us as an ecosystem, less on the protocol side, but more as an ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. And, I don't mean like, what would you add to the technical roadmap? I think I should have framed that question a little bit better. But so Yeet, I'll frame it better for you. If you could add one thing to the Algorand roadmap, just roadmap, what would it be?
Well, since I know the roadmap, I wouldn't add anything. to be honest, it's a very
packed. You were going to say that.
It's a very packed roadmap, and actually, I think anyone can add to the roadmap. Maybe not for 2024, but the ARC committee is so open to new ideas, and I encourage everyone to read the open ARCs and also propose new things. Everybody, there is a great sharing culture, and everybody is listening everyone's ideas. And I think anyone with a good idea can participate in those discussions. For example, recently there was an old ARC, and I started to question them. Why we are not doing this? Why we are not? What needs to be done? And people were really open, and now we are rediscussing that topic, and it's going quite well actually. No,
for sure. So I kind of want to keep going into the conversation of the gaps in the ecosystem. I think it's a really strong conversation. So, after this, I was in Mexico City last week for the karate combat fight, and I was let in on a conversation between Algorand community members, because some of the Algorand community members really like how Hedera has the karate combat sponsorship, like in the middle of the mat. It says Hedera real big, combat sports, it's a big attention getter. I mean, even VChain has a UFC partnership as well. And there's even rumors about an AlgoFam grappling tournament. I don't know. Will it happen? Maybe, maybe not. But do you think this is a road, starting with Min, do you think this is a road Algorand needs to go down? And if not combat sports, what demographic do you think would be smart to target?
It's an interesting question. So I will first preface this by saying, I've done a lot of things, I've done a lot of roles in my past, but marketing is not a role that I've spent a lot of time on. And I feel like this very squarely sort of fits into kind of reach, right? And audience and all that stuff. So, and as you've heard Stacy, say, we're on the hunt for the perfect CMO. So, that person will have a much more sophisticated point of view than me. My personal point of view on this is if we these types of sponsorships are good for reach. If you want it out there, then you can sort of think about, okay, what are the sporting events that have the most number of audience? What is the right target audience that we want to hit, male, female, age, etc. But I actually think that's the wrong question. It's the wrong goal. I think what I would love for us to optimize for is use. This kind of goes back to my, earlier point around real world use cases and adoption. I think it's critical to have sponsorships or partnerships that have a real activation component, something that is really organic and natural to that brand or to that partnership that makes you actually do something and interact and use, So I think that to me would be the most important thing. And if there's something that makes sense there, then I would say, yes, that's a gap. But I don't know. I don't know right now that I see that as a significant gap, to be honest.
No, for sure. Certainly not an easy question to answer, but I always like putting those types of questions out there. I'm really fishing for ideas. I do appreciate when you see crypto companies, sponsor UFC fights, Algorand with FIFA, stuff like that. Everyone loves to see that type of visibility. Personally, I think there should be some sort of motocross, supercross sponsor for, but I'm a big dirt bike guy, so of course I would say that. So I will keep it moving. I will not keep going on that question. But the next question is a question I always love to ask in a lot of interviews, because I know how difficult, the crypto industry is in general. So Yeet, I will start with you. What are the biggest challenges about being in the Algorand ecosystem?
Well, I think the biggest challenge in the Algorand ecosystem is that the network itself is quite solid. The TPS counts, which means the transactions that we are processing per second, can be very high. And since we are a wallet application, we need to parse everything. We need to parse every information. We need to classify them, arrange them, and store them. Thankfully, the Algorand indexer is working quite good so far, and it is catching the TPS. But the code that we are writing, it should match the same level. Otherwise, it falls behind. So I think this is the biggest challenge, because the capacity and the capability of the network is very high, and we need to adapt ourselves to that. And it's a bit difficult because for some long periods, the TPS cannot be very high, but for days it can be very high. So we always need to be careful about what we do and how we do. I think the biggest challenge is at the technical side, and it is this issue. Other than that, I don't see any difficulties. It's a great project to work on.
For sure. Mint, you have a take on this one?
A little bit. I think one of the things that I've noticed, and it's again these ecosystems are so hard, but one of the things that I've kind of noticed is that we can also be a little self-isolating, sometimes as an ecosystem. Like we kind of dig into the choices that we've made, and we sometimes take ourselves out of the game a little bit. And, this is a little topical because, Heat and Bruno and I have been talking about this for a while, and we're working on this. So for example, we have a 25 word seed phrase versus 24, which is what everybody else uses, right? We call wallet addresses as accounts. Everybody else has a different schema. And what we've kind of, what happens in those cases is like, we don't get to participate in some of the sort of happenings and progress that the other ecosystem is making. And so I think we sometimes can sort of be resistant to kind of changing how we do things, just because there were very good reasons why we did them in the beginning originally, but we don't really want to change. And so like adopting a 24-word seed phrase is going to allow for better multi-chain wallet support, right? If we were to take on, and by the way, I know has mentioned we're working on this, by adopting the sort of the HD wallet schema, we're going to be able to be much more open. It's going to open us up to be able to interoperate, to be more interoperable, with other ecosystems, right? Like these are things that are just really important for us. And so I think like a challenge, but also a motivation, I think for us is like, how do we stay relevant? How do we make sure we keep our unique USP, right? That's what they call it in marketing. How do we keep our USP but stay relevant with the whole industry is going? And we should use that as our kind of like guiding motivation, into the future.
Oh, sorry, my mute button was not unmuting there on me. Sorry about that. For 100%. So, you did kind of touch on that in that answer there. And I do want to kind of delve into the Pera conversation. So just for anybody in the audience who, might be new, might not know what the Pera wallet is, Yeet, do you want to fill them in?
Yeah, definitely. So I think many people already know what Pera is, but for people who don't know, Pera is a non-custodial wallet. I am sure many potential users are confused with this term, even non-custodial wallet. What does non-custodial mean, and how it is different than Binance, for example? We see this question frequently on our support groups, and this is a frequently misunderstood topic. We, Pera, or any other non-custodial wallet like MetaMask, we cannot have access to your account. So that is the key difference, in my opinion. So even if we wanted to, we cannot move a single algo from your account. This is technically impossible. You own the keys of your account and you have full control to it. I don't want to go into details of public and private keys at the moment, but we can think Pera as a physical wallet that keeps your cash and cards. Pera wallet, we just keep your keys to your account. We do not see your key. Even if you enter your mnemonic keys to Pera, the application does not send the keys to our servers. So they are kept in your device, encrypted, so no one except you can utilize your keys to make operations on your behalf. And I think this is extremely important. Also, one question that people can be confused a little bit, people especially who are used to centralized exchanges, the assets that you hold, like NFTs, etc., are not stored in the wallet. These assets are registered to the account at the blockchain, and the wallet application only holds your keys. So if you lose your phone or decide to use another wallet application, as long as you back up your keys, you will be fine. So Pera is just an application or a tool or a computer program, let's say, that lets you use your private keys when you require it. And while doing that, we are trying to be as user-friendly as possible to give users as much clarity as possible. So this is what Pera is, according to me.
I think that's a very rock solid answer. So I do want to keep it rolling here. Min, what features are you most proud of in the Pera wallet and why?
Oh, I mean, I this is maybe a little lame. I'm kind of proud of the overall wallet as a whole. Like, it is so slick, you know, the UI, and you know, I just remember my first experience on Pera was just, I was blown away that this is a non-custodial wallet, right? Like, you expect a Web 2 experience in a wallet, you never get it, and you get the Web 2 experience on the Pera wallet. And you know, I come a little bit from the wallet world. When I was at blockchain.com, when we had a non-custodial wallet and we had a custodial wallet, the challenges of making that UI slick for a non-custodial wallet where everything has to happen on the client side, it's really real and significant. So I think like the fact that Yeet and the team solve this and just like build such a beautiful UX for this wallet, I'm incredibly proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, bullish for sure. I mean, I jump back and forth between Pera and DeFi. I actually hold some things on Pera and some things on DeFi, and both amazing wallets. I will give it to you on that. Yeah, I want to ask, what's the worst feature on Pera wallet?
This is a difficult question. Actually, not very difficult, I know, and I'm sure many of our users already know that. We experience connection problems from time to time, especially with dApps. And we did lots of improvements, and now it's better. But the underlying technology that we are using, which is Wallet Connect, is not great, especially in mobile-to-mobile connections. When the dApp is open in the mobile app, mobile device, and when the Pera is on the mobile device as well. So we are thinking to improve it, not thinking, but planning. Actually, it's a difficult task, and we are willing to make it right this time and make it in a way that will be open to all wallets. So we are working on that. This is the part that is bugging me at night, basically.
Cannot sleep because of those connectivity. I'm sure you guys will iron it out. I do want to take a second to do a little teeny bit of housekeeping here. There are 130 people listening to the live space. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. Make sure you smash the like button and retweet the space while we're still early in the show here to try to get more people in. Also, for anybody who's missing, who's watching this on YouTube a couple days later, this was originally a Twitter space, just so you know. Also, there will be a giveaway, an Algo Fam giveaway at the end of the space, so don't go anywhere. 6 lucky people in the audience will win $50 in Algorand. So make sure you stick around to the very end so we can give some Algorand out to some of the viewers. So awesome. So, you know, so Min, so say someone, you know, downloads the Pera wallet, you know, for the first time. Can you walk us through the user journey of someone first getting set up with their Pera wallet, just in case there's any beginners in the audience?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so, you know, when you sign up, so we've actually made, as he was saying, you know, we've been constantly making these improvements. So when you download a Pera wallet, you know, you basically enter in, you can create a wallet, and then, you know, there's a question, there's like the 25-word seed phrase that you have to write down. And in fact, for those of you who recently updated your app, you will notice that we now allow users to skip that seed phrase. And that was something that we did. And then, of course, we, you know, remind you, if you did skip, we remind you to back up your wallet after the process. But the idea there really is to kind of, how do we reduce the friction for a new user signing up, for a new user entering into the ecosystem. So once you get through that C phrase part, you know, you have your wallet and you can kind of check out the rest of the ecosystem, whether it's through our Discover page, which features the other apps in our ecosystem, DeFi apps, our governance NFTs and our governance page. And then, you know, of course, all the other, you know, the NFDs and the NFTs, et cetera. So it's a way really for everyone to discover the Algorand ecosystem through Pera. And then, of course, we also have, as you sign up, after you've signed up, we also have a way for users in non-restricted countries, for users to be able to purchase algos and purchase and actually do swaps as well. And the purchasing of algos is via a third party. I think that's important to call out because, again, we are a non-custodial wallet. We don't know who you are. And so we partner up with folks that are compliant, that can service these functions in the country that you live. And then for swap, we, of course, work with Vestige to facilitate the swap as well, to give users a better spread for their swaps and the pairs. So, we really do prioritize making that journey a super easy, just a couple of clicks, and you can have a wallet ready to go on Pera.
No, I think that's great. It's certainly a pretty seamless setup process there. Not hard to get it going. Min, this is a question I've been really excited to ask you. I'm not going to lie. How have you seen the role of Pera in the ecosystem evolve over the years?
Yeah, well, maybe it's a better question for Yeet, actually.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, I think since the beginning, I can answer this question very easily. So in the beginning, this was a technology preview app. So it was an app that was allowing, that was showing the users what are the capabilities of the Algorand network. As the network became more competent, we added more features. But at some point, we changed our role and we said, okay, we need to focus on user experience and make sure that this is a great wallet for a newcomer user. So I think the first change of role was this. We added many features. And these features are difficult to implement features. For example, showing the NFTs as a gallery for all accounts, showing all accounts at the homepage in one go. These are difficult things to implement, and many wallets choose to implement otherwise. But since we were aiming to be the wallet of the beginner users, we invested in that area. After arriving at some point in the user experience, I think now we are seeing another change on our approach, and we are aiming to increase the adoption of Algorand by helping other dApps, by showcasing the network itself, and also, as always, having a great UX. For example, we are open source and open license. We turned off the web wallet, but also open sourced it and open licensed it. So yeah, we want to see more people building on Algorand, and we are trying our best to do.
No, and I certainly agree with you. Like with Pera, when you go in there, you can see, oh, I can do this in here. I can do this in here. It connects you to the rest of the Algorand ecosystem. That is my favorite part of the Pera wallet, personally, myself. But I do want to continue this. Maybe I'll start with Min on this one. How does the Pera wallet plan to address the evolving needs and security concerns of the community? I know the MyAlgo hack. The MyAlgo hack a while back, that was a kind of a sore thumb in the algo community. Do you have any concerns about security, and how can we ensure that something like that won't happen again?
I love how you're gonna you ask the non-technical person about the security. So I'm gonna say, yes, we're always concerned about security, always, because we have Yeet and the team really looking at it all the time. No, well, I mean, 100%.
I was gonna ask that one to both of you, but I'm trying to alternate the guests. I'm
totally joking.
Trying.
Totally joking. No, I 100. I mean, I think the MyAlgo hack is a wake-up call, but it shouldn't have been, right? Because security should always and has always been the forefront of what we prioritize for applications in our ecosystem, in any ecosystem, right? Like I think it's really important. So I will say, and I'll let Yeet kind of answer the more specifics around how we want to be, preventing and thinking about security. But for me, the ways that we are thinking about it is we need to prioritize what are the most important things to us in Pera. And if security is what's important, then we need to put our resources against security. And to be honest, I know there's been kind of, varying feedback on this. That's one of the reasons why we had to shut down the web wallet for Pera. One, there are a lot of vector attacks for web wallets in general, but two, it also just takes the resources away from us to be able to really say we're going to dedicate and focus on the security for our mobile wallets, right? So like this idea of focusing on specific products is so important to us at Pera right now. I think, that to me is how we're going to emphasize, the security element of it as well.
Yeah, for the non-technical person, I felt that was a rock solid answer. That was a rock solid answer, man.
Thank you.
I got you. What are your concerns? Do you have any concerns about security, Yeet? And how can we ensure something like the MyAlgo hack won't happen again?
Yes, you can be comfortable because I have concerns over security. So I am worrying about the security, and our team is worrying about the security. So yeah, it was a very sad event, and it impacted users. It impacted the chain itself, and also it even impacted our roadmap. For example, we were not prioritizing rekeying functionality in the wallet because we were thinking that it was a complicated feature for most of the users, but we had to implement it immediately as soon as possible. So what we do, first of all, I think we are open source, and being open source is a great thing. Everybody can read our code, and people read our code, and they have great suggestions. For example, I want to shout out to the DeFi team. When they saw a slight vulnerability in the code, they immediately wrote to us when they noticed it years ago, and they said, "Hey, we are implementing this differently. Maybe you may want to do that as well." And we changed it. And this is only possible because we are open source. And the whole ecosystem is basically working for us. And the second thing that we do is that we are audited, of course. We have regular audits. And the third thing is also more important than everything, I guess, which is we are slow. We are not rushing. We are not rushing anything. Sometimes our users say, "Hey, this feature was meant to be delivered 2 weeks ago. Why this didn't arrive?" Yeah, but we are trying to be careful about it because we have a huge responsibility. I'm coming from a mobile and backend development background, and normally mobile applications are just a face for the backend service. But on non-custodial wallets like Pera, the mobile application carries all the responsibility. So we should be careful, and we are careful. We have a small team. We are using the security best practices. We have monthly security meetings. So we are taking this very seriously. And so far, everything is great.
Rock solid answer on that for sure. Yeah, the MyAlgo hack, that was kind of like an animal of its own. That whole thing took on a life of its own because people thought that Algorand got hacked, and we all had to jump up and down and explain, no, it's a third-party wallet that just has an unfortunate name that made everyone look silly. And yeah, I'm very glad to hear that you guys are taking it as seriously as you are. And obviously, you want people to feel safe, especially in a decentralized, non-custodial space. You want to have that peace of mind, and I'm certainly glad that you guys provide that. Got a couple questions left here, and I think this might be I have a bone to pick. Okay, I have a bone to pick, and this is probably I've been looking forward to asking this question. Min, I'll start with you. There's a two-part question. All right, how will Pera help drive adoption to Algorand? And I ask this because it drives me crazy. When I find out how many people hold their Algorand on Coinbase. Why should they be on Pera instead?
Good question. So how we want to drive adoption for Algorand is, to me, it's not related to where people are holding their algos. Yeah. And the reason for that is because, you go to Coinbase, you buy algos, and then what? And then what do you do? Maybe you can scroll through the news. You know, like there's nothing for you to do once you're on Coinbase and you hold algos. That is completely different on Pera. You know, you send your algos from Coinbase to Pera, and then you can participate in governance, and then you can check out what folks is doing, and then you can get yourself an NFD. There's just so much more that you can do. And to me, that's the power. And so how we want Pera to be driving the adoption is like, Yeet and I and Jack and a few others, we've been brainstorming this. Like, how do we, there's no place for people to go to just find out everything that's happening in the ecosystem. Pera can be the place, right? There's no, like, what if we just like have, if folks want to reach an audience of Algorand users, they go to Twitter. What if they just come to Pera? And, like we can be the center where all the news happen, all the sort of distribution and reach into the folks in the ecosystem can happen. That was not an intended pun. People in the ecosystem can happen, right? So I think that's how we see Pera's role in really driving the adoption of Algorand. And it doesn't matter, how people or where people hold their algos, because the experience on Pera is going to just drive, I believe, it's just going to draw them into Pera.
No, I completely agree. Because it's like one thing is going to hold it on Coinbase. Like, cool, yeah. We're done here. Or you could actually be involved in the ecosystem and see everything there is to offer. Yeet, do you have an alternate answer to this question? What do you think?
Yeah, I think my answer will be very similar. I think having algos on a central exchange is cool, but it's not fun. At the end of the day, these people cannot use any services built on top of the Algorand. However, they should come to Algorand and they should carry their algos to their own wallets and use many great projects on top of Algorand. They can discover NFT marketplaces, learn about new artists creating great artwork, and discover many DeFi tools. At the end, it's an entire ecosystem. So yeah, I think they should install Pera ASAP.
Great answer. I have one more question for each of you, and then we will get to the giveaway. I know a lot of people must be excited for that. We do have 140 people listening to the Twitter Space Live. To all the people listening to the Twitter Space, make sure you smash the like button. If you win the giveaway and you don't have the like button smashed, you lose. So there you go. I'm kidding. No, but really. So I'll start with Min. Are there any upcoming features or partnerships for the Pera wallet users, that users can look forward to?
So can I answer that in two ways?
Yep.
And I hope I'm not kind of stealing the thunder from Yeet.
Send it.
This is kind of like whoever goes first gets to kind of win, So sorry, Yeet. No, but I think there are two things. On the features that we're most excited about are not features that are going to be visible to the users. And I think I'll maybe let Yeet kind of, go into the details of this, but it is the bedrock of how we want our wallet and our ecosystem to be interacting with other ecosystems and other wallets. So I think you can kind of guess where I'm going with that. So that's, to me, that is something I'm super excited about. And that's something that I think everybody should be excited about to look forward to. But again, it's not really visible. And then there actually are very cool partnerships that are coming that we just cannot yet disclose. I know all the alpha people want to know, but there's they're gonna be some cool stuff coming, So keep your eyes open for them. So that's maybe I'll hand it over to Yeet to kind of talk a little bit about the features.
Yeah. As Min said, I think the biggest thing that we are working on is a heavy refactor on how we store data in Pera, which will allow us to add support for HD wallets. Basically, HD wallets is a system that is respected and applied across the blockchain ecosystem. And Algorand was a little bit outside of this system. Now we are heading towards that approach, which will reduce the number of mnemonics that people need to secure. I mean, not the count of mnemonic keys, but in short, people will be able to create multiple wallets from the same mnemonic keys, multiple account addresses from the same mnemonic keys. So it's a very important change, in my opinion. And another one is ARC12. I am really excited about this feature because I think this feature is a key improvement in the Algorand ecosystem, which offers a way to solve the opt-in frictions without losing the spam protection. We are working with other ecosystem members like NFD, DeFly, and the Algorand Foundation developer team. And Joe from the Algorand team has created a great infrastructure to solve this problem. And I think it will be a great news before Q2 2024, and it will be a great improvement for the new users on the Algorand ecosystem.
Awesome.
Great answer. Wow. We ran through those questions, all of them in 57 minutes. I feel like we timed that interview very well. I feel like we did a really good job. I was concerned, the first couple ones I did were one-on-one interviews, and this one there's two people, so I had to, I think I timed it good. I'm very proud of that. I feel like we had a really great interview. Min and Yi, thank you so much for being here. Really, really appreciate your time. Very grateful to be able to have the honor of interviewing today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank
so
you
much for having us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now it is time for the giveaway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the audience a second here, because I was going to pick the giveaway winners right from the space, but now I decided to pick the giveaway winners from the like button. So you have 60 seconds to race over there. There's only 65 people that have liked it so far, so and 6 people are winning. Pretty good odds for the like gang. So I'm going to give them a couple seconds. I'm going to burn some time here to get them on over there. And now, so what I'm going to do is, Min, I'm gonna need you to give me, because this is Algorand, right? So I have a completely perfect verifiable random function here. It's the perfect VRF, and I need you to give me 3 numbers between 1 and 10.
I'm the perfectly random VRF. I love it. All right, I'm going to give you 12.
Between 1 and
32.
10.
Oh, 1 and 10.
Yep.
Okay. All right. 10.
10.
7. 3.
3. All right. 10, 7, 3. Now, Yeet, verifiable random function here at work. I need 3 numbers between 1 and 10.
2, 8, and 5.
2, 8, and 5. Okay, so now I'm going to go over here to I'm going to get a refresh here. I clicked out of it. Okay. I'm going to come back. I'm going to get a fresh refresh so everyone that smashed the like button on the space has a chance. Oh, look at that. It jumped from 66 to 97. You see that? See that? Little bit of incentive goes a long way in crypto Twitter.
It works.
Love to see it. All right. So there's 37 reposts. Big thank you to everybody who stuck around to the end of the space. And we do have these 6 numbers in front of me, verifiable random function. So Min said 10. So I'm going to go 10 from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So we have my guy at Striker Crypto. I'm writing it down. Crypto 2. Congratulations. You have won $50 in Algorand. After that, we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at Glork Glop. Congratulations to my guy Glork Glop. That's a great name, by the way. He might get extra algo from me just because I really like his name. Glork Glop out here killing it. And then number 3, so 3 from him at Willie Brave. Winning $50 in Algorand. Congratulations to him. And then we have Yeats numbers were 2, 8, 5. We have Reed Myers 18. And then 8. So 8 from him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have at Foodie City Game. What a name. Foodie City game. All right, $50 in Algorand to my Foodie City game friend. And now the final number is 5 down from Foodie City game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Runs.hill algo. He says, I'm new here at that's a crazy. I'm just going to screenshot his name because I am not writing down that at name. It is way too complicated. So there you go. We have given out 6 winners have won $50 in Algorand. Thank you for sticking around to the end. Appreciate each and every one of you. We did do it completely random, verifiable random functions over here on Algorand. I absolutely love it. Min and Yeet, thank you guys and girl. I hate when I say the guys. Thank you all. Excuse me for being here. I really, really appreciate your time. Maybe we'll do this again sometime. We'll circle back in a couple months, and if there's any new updates or anything, I'd love to be a part of it. I really like what you guys are doing. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, and this has been fun. Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, well, we are signing off here on Twitter. Thank you guys and girls, everybody. Thank you. My name is AJ Raj Crypto. Get rich or get wrecked. Later.